On day 1, I spawned into the middle of the Black Forest as Herobrine, Minecraft's spookiest phantom. Well, a baby version of Herobrine anyway. But why am I here? I was on some kind of altar with a sinister robed figure standing and staring at me.
Yes, my plan worked. This is the growing sign that my powers are growing.
Plan? Powers? Who are you? And what's going on here?
You don't know the name of your master, boy. I am Dorian, the drowned necromancer, master of the undead. And you are my servant.
Servant? I didn't sign up for that. I don't even want to be a ghost. I want to have a body.
What you want doesn't matter. Without me, you wouldn't exist. And unless I choose to give you a body in the next 100 days, your spirit will fade away into nothingness. Bow to me, boy.
Never! And my name is Zozo. With all my might, I jumped out of the altar and ran off into the forest as fast as I could. I didn't want anything to do with Dorian, the drowned necromancer, and his plan to get more power. I need to work on my plan, getting my body back. When I was convinced that I'd lost Dorian, I hid under a tree for the rest of the day. As a restless spirit, I couldn't even get any rest. Being Herobrine sure isn't easy. On day 2, I decided to further explore the Black Forest. It was dark and spooky, the exact kind of place that a scary spirit like me would be summoned. If I wasn't a ghost myself, I'd be afraid of running into a ghost around here. And, oh geez, I only have 5 hearts. I thought ghosts were meant to be more durable than this. But I didn't have time to wallow in self-pity for long, because a gang of frightening dreadliches emerged out of the trees. Why is everyone around here so eerie?
We serve our glorious master, Dorian, the drowned necromancer. He gave us new life, so we owe everything to him.
Oh, that's just my luck! And I guess you want to kidnap me and take me back to him for his sinister plans?
Huh. We didn't expect you to already know this. I guess it saves us some explanation time at least. In the name of Dorian, we commandeer your soul!
The dreadliches punched me. With no weapons and very low health, I didn't have any hope of fighting back against them. Instead, I turned around and ran as quickly as I could. My soul, my rules! The Black Forest seemed dark and infinite, so at least it wasn't difficult to lose those nasty liches. The downside was that I'd gotten lost myself, and as I wandered through the forest, getting more and more creeped out, I ran into a siren.
Oh, another ghost! How exciting!
Wait, you can see me?
Of course I can see you. I'm a psychic. Sarah the Psychic Siren, General Services. Pleased to meet you.
So, you're not going to try to steal my soul like everyone else I've met?
Steal your soul? Heck no. I'm a huge supporter of spirits' rights. Come with me, my new ghost friend. I'll introduce you to my boss.
Finally, having met someone nice, I followed Sarah the Psychic Siren through the trees. On day 3, Sarah led me through the forest until we came upon a small cottage. A sign outside read, Psychic Services for all ghosts. Wow, I had no idea this kind of place existed, Sarah.
There are more ghosts in this forest than you think. It's got to be someone's job to take care of them and help them along their way.
Suddenly, the front door opened and a geomancer stepped out.
Zozo, meet my boss, Jerry the Geomancer. Jerry, I found Zozo here wandering through the Black Forest like a restless spirit. He needs our help.
Is that a fact? It's nice to meet you, Zozo. Tell me, how did you find yourself in this difficult situation?
To be honest, I'm not entirely sure. I was summoned and bound by this guy called Dorian, the drowned necromancer, and he told me that if I didn't serve him, I'd disappear in 100 days. It's gotten me pretty worried.
That's concerning. I've heard of many cases caused by this Dorian fellow, a truly dangerous customer. I'm gonna put Sarah on your case. She'll come and help you build a base and get situated. And together, we'll get your body back.
Thank you, Jerry and Sarah. I'm feeling better already.
Let's go, Zozo.
With the mission to get my body back decided on, Sarah and I journeyed further into the forest to get started. From day 4 to day 5, Sarah and I explored the Black Forest until we discovered an area with a nice, flat terrain. So, Sarah, what do you think we should do first?
I'd say cut down a few of these trees. That'll give you some of the wood you need to build a crafting table and a wooden pickaxe.
Great idea, Sarah! I cut down a tree and made a crafting table and a wooden pickaxe. From there, I mined enough stone to also create a stone pickaxe, axe, and a stone sword. It's difficult to hold this stuff, being a ghost, but I'll try my best.
That's the spirit, Zozo.
I cleared enough space in the forest to start laying down a basic base, collecting some extra wood along the way. It started off with a pretty basic setup, with just a room for me and a room for Sarah.
Oh, this is a nice setup, Zozo. I guess living with you technically means we're living in a haunted house.
Yeah, I guess so. Say, this is probably a pointless question to ask, but is it possible for ghosts to eat? Because I'm getting really hungry right now.
You're in luck, Zozo. I have an enchanted apple that ghosts can eat in my inventory right now. Enjoy!
Sarah gave me the apple, and I ate it. Instantly, I felt my power starting to grow. I had 20 hearts now, and I developed a new ghost ability, warping from place to place.
This is fascinating, Zozo. I feel so lucky that I'm getting to see it.
From day 6 to day 8, I went wandering around the nearby Twilight Valley, looking for more rare enchanted food. As a ghost, my ghostly hunger was really difficult to satisfy, and Sarah didn't know how to enchant more food. It kinda sucks to be a ghost. I still have a lot of the downsides of being human, plus a bunch of new downsides. But while I was wandering around the valley, I heard some commotion and ran in to see what was happening. Maybe I can help someone. In the distance, I saw a Vindicator Chef, one of the most powerful types of chefs in the world, being attacked by a nasty gang of skeleton vanguards. A chef, huh? What a stroke of good luck. I used my new ghost power to warp over there and pulled out my stone sword. With all my focus and determination, I fought all of the skeleton vanguards until none remained. It was only me and the Vindicator Chef.
You saved my life, sir. I owe you a great debt. What is your name?
I'm Zozo.
Zozo, a strong name for a strong hero. I am Victor, Victor the Vindicator Chef. And if you do a favor for me, I will repay your kindness by any means necessary.
That sounds like a good deal. What kind of favor would you like me to do?
Follow me, and I'll show you.
I followed Victor the Vindicator Chef deeper into the Twilight Valley, excited to get him on my side. From day 9 to day 10, Victor took me to a clearing in the valley where a huge mutant skeleton was waiting. Oh geez, that thing is a monster. You want me to defeat a mutant skeleton?
I believe in you, Zozo. Seeing you take down all those skeleton vanguards makes me completely confident in your ability to slay this beast. Go forth!
Thanks for the vote of confidence, Victor. I steeled myself as best as I could and warped over to the mutant skeleton. It immediately started attacking me, and I started attacking it back. But my attacks were barely doing anything, and its attacks were taking way too many hearts off of me. I gotta get out of here. I warped away from the fight and ran back to Victor, telling him the disappointing news.
Oh, well, I'm sure you tried your best nonetheless. I suppose we'll go our separate ways.
No, hear me out. I could really use a Vindicator Chef back at my base. You're the only type of chef who can cook the type of enchanted food I can eat. How about you stay at my base, and I promise I'll come back and defeat this mutant skeleton when I'm strong enough.
That sounds like a good deal to me. Lead the way, dear Zozo.
From day 11 to day 12, I returned to the base with Victor the Vindicator Chef. I know it isn't much, but it's home. I'm going to make you a room.
Thank you, Zozo. I'll get working on a little something of my own in the meantime.
I got to work, gathering up new materials, and started building a new little bungalow for the Vindicator Chef to stay in while crashing at my base. What do you think, Victor?
This is a nice little room, Zozo. Thank you. And you can come and see what I made for you, too. Go and check your room.
I walked over and saw that Victor had made a high-end kitchen in my base. Perfect for cooking up the kind of enchanted food I could eat. This is amazing, Victor. I'm getting hungry just looking at it.
But the kitchen is only one side of the equation, Zozo. I need some good quality ingredients. Perhaps we should build a farm on the base.
That's another excellent idea. I decided to build a little enclosure and went out into the Black Forest where I found a bunch of chickens. It wasn't hard to herd them back to my base. I can taste the eggs and fried chicken already. When I returned to my room to relax, I found that Sarah the Psychic Siren was waiting for me with some new information.
I did some research into Dorian the drowned necromancer, Zozo, and found some interesting information. He used to be a flesh and blood necromancer, terrorizing the overworld by raising the undead, until one day the people rose up and drowned him in the ocean. Somehow, Dorian returned, and he's been acting on his evil plans ever since.
Wow, This guy is really scary. From day 13 to day 15, I returned to Sarah once again and asked her what she thought I should do in order to get my body back.
Right now, Zozo, knowledge is power. The more we can find out, the more likely we'll be able to help you get your body back. Head out to the Twilight Valley and see what you can find out.
That's an excellent idea, Sarah. I journeyed out into the Twilight Valley, which reminded me of the time that I'd failed to defeat the mutant skeleton. Why is nothing ever easy around here? But my difficulties were only just getting started. One of the dreadliches who worked for Dorian the drowned necromancer came from behind me, ready to fight me.
I serve my glorious master, Dorian the...
The drowned necromancer, yeah, I get it. Let's just fight.
Fine, but way to take all the fun out of this.
I battled the dreadlich with all my might. He was a formidable opponent, but in the end, I defeated him all the same. And that gave me the XP I needed to level up again. I got bigger, stronger, rose up to 40 hearts, and gained a new offensive power, lightning strikes. Finally, some actually cool ghost powers. From day 16 to day 19, I found my way into the wooded Badlands, where I continued my search for any useful information that could help me defeat Dorian the drowned necromancer and get my body back. During the first couple days of my search through the Badlands, I didn't find anything, but on day 19, I happened upon a dusty, old book hidden out of the way. Yay, reading! I love that! But it wasn't just a fun reading experience that would engage my imagination, it was also a book that contained some critical information about Dorian the drowned necromancer. It read, like all cardinal undead, the drowned necromancer has a beard of ice. Therefore, he must spend most of his time in the freezing cold, and he has a severe weakness to fire. So that's two useful pieces of information. Dorian has a weakness to fire, and he must be hiding somewhere cold. I can't wait to tell Sarah about this. But my celebration was short-lived, as suddenly a couple of dreadliches ambushed me, trying to get revenge for their friend I defeated back in the Twilight Valley. Thankfully, this time, I had the power of ghostly lightning in my hands. I fired some lightning bolts at the dreadliches until they were destroyed. I'm getting my body back no matter what. From day 20 to day 22, I continued through the wooded Badlands, feeling strong and confident about all the information I'd found recently. I ran into a nasty gang of hungry spiders and used my new lightning ability to zap them. These spiders are hardly a threat to me now. I decided that now was the perfect time to upgrade my gear, too. I searched until I found an underground cavern and looked around until I found some iron ore. I mined the ore and smelted it into some ingots, creating an iron sword and an iron pickaxe. Now I'm stronger than ever. Come to think of it, I have some unfinished business to take care of now. Remembering the debt I owed to Victor the Vindicator Chef, I returned to the Twilight Valley and hunted down that scary mutant skeleton I'd agreed to defeat. When I saw the mutant skeleton, I first unleashed a lightning strike, stunning it. Then I ran in and struck it again and again with my new iron sword, until it was no more. A Herobrine always pays his debts. From day 23 to day 26, I returned to the base to let Victor the Vindicator Chef know that I had paid my debt to him by defeating the mutant skeleton.
I can see that you've gotten strong, just like you promised you would.
That's right, and I plan on becoming even stronger, Victor. They'll start calling me Victor too, because I won so many battles.
But that's my name, Zozo. Won't that get confusing?
True. I guess I'll just stick with Zozo. After my talk with Victor, I went to the underground cavern where I could mine for more iron. With my iron pickaxe, I was able to mine the iron ore in no time. In the same area, I found a treasure chest with a bunch of iron ingots that I could use to craft a full set of iron armor. I'm like a ghostly knight. I went back above and went to see Victor the Vindicator Chef again. He said he had some news to share with me.
Zozo, I've made an addition to the base that I think you might really enjoy.
He showed me a relaxation room that was perfect for ghosts like me. You did a really good job on this, Victor. We ghosts might not be able to rest in peace, but at least now we can relax about it.
It was no trouble at all, friend.
From day 27 to day 31, I was out exploring in the same area of the wooded Badlands where I defeated the dreadliches. I came across a farmer who was jumping for joy at the sight of me. That's not the usual reaction people have for Herobrine, so I went over to ask why he was in such a good mood. What's got you so happy, Mr. Farmer?
It's because of you, Zozo. Those dreadliches were a real snake in my boot. But ever since you defeated them, I've had no worries.
Glad to hear it. Slaying evil monsters and improving lives is totally my thing.
Well, there is one small worry. When those dread liches was still around, one of them scared off all my sheep. I needed them for wool.
I'll help you out. You can even come live at my base if you'd like.
That sounds peachy keen, Zozo.
I led the farmer back to the base, then set off through the Black Forest to find some sheep so I could gather the wool that the farmer was looking for. Taming them was easy enough, and soon there was enough wool to go around. Afterwards, I decided to do some decorating. These Herobrine banners will show the mobs that this base is home to one mighty ghost. With the decorations done, I found Sarah the psychic siren waiting inside.
There you are, Zozo. You have to leave the base with me now. It's an emergency.
What's going on?
Come on, I'll explain when we get there.
From day 32 to day 35, I left the base with Sarah and traveled through the Black Forest. Along the way, we were ambushed by a small gang of dreadliches. Boy, does this feel familiar.
I should have seen this coming. I am a psychic after all.
We serve our glorious master, Dorian the drowned necromancer.
They really do say it every time, don't they, Sarah?
They sure do.
Hey, don't diss our catchphrase, or we'll have to get mean. Well, meaner.
The dreadliches began to attack, so I zapped them with my ghost lightning strikes. None of the dreadliches I had fought before had seen that ability, so it took them by surprise, and I was able to quickly defeat them. We traveled on, and I soon noticed that Sarah and I had come to the place where Jerry the geomancer had resided before. This time, it was completely destroyed, and the area was full of Dorian's dreadliches. Hey, this is Jerry's place. Get out of here!
It looks like we were too late, Zozo. This is exactly what I foresaw in my psychic vision.
I knew what Sarah meant when I saw Jerry backed against a corner. He had tried to fight the dreadliches on his own, but he was about to die.
Zozo, is that you? It seems I won't be able to see you get your body back.
Jerry, I'm sorry. We got here as fast as we could.
Don't worry about me. Dorian will surely pay for this. Make sure you and Sarah protect each other.
We will. Rest well, Jerry. I was so enraged by Jerry's death that I destroyed the dreadliches with my lightning strikes until there were none left in the area. From day 36 to day 39, I made a return trip back to the Twilight Valley. It hadn't changed much since the other time I was here, but there was a fisherman at the local pond who I hadn't seen before. Hello there, I'm Zozo.
Well, hi there, Zozo. I'm fishing. Oh, I'm just kidding. My name is Fred the Fisherman, and I could use a hand.
Sure, Fred. What seems to be the problem?
I know I'd be able to catch more fish if I had some twilight worms as bait, but they're all way up there in the higher parts of the valley. Can you go get a couple for me?
You can count on me, Fred. I climbed up the terrain of the Twilight Valley, enjoying the view along the way. With all that happened recently, it was nice to gather my thoughts for a moment. The moment didn't last long, though, because I was attacked by a giant. Even though it was big, it had gotten the drop on me. I took a few swings with my iron sword to make it think twice, then I warped back a short distance and hit it with a few lightning strikes. I closed the distance back into melee range and finished it off with my sword. Soon after, I returned to Fred the Fisherman with the bait he was looking for. Happy fishing. Hope you catch a big one.
Thanks. I only came here to the valley because the fishing in the ocean ain't that good anymore. Ever since that drowned necromancer rose from the sea, people have been afraid that he might have left a curse on it.
He is really evil, that Dorian. A curse on the place he was drowned. Sure sounds like him. From day 40 to day 43, I was looking at the base after coming home from my short On day 1, I spawned in as a normal guy. No wait, I'm a Navy SEAL. Awesome, I'm a trained warrior. But wait, what's this? I looked closer and saw I barely had any hearts and no armor. I was just a recruit. It looks like I haven't even been trusted with a weapon. Bummer. I guess I better take a look around and see what I can find. I took a peek around the deck and saw that the ship was pretty empty. This was a huge ship. It was kind of eerie, nothing seemed to be going on. And as I looked around, I noticed there wasn't any land nearby either. What do I do now? Well, I'm a Navy SEAL. I should know how to swim, right? I walked over to the edge of the ship and jumped into the water. I swam around the anchor for a bit, but didn't see anything else around. Suddenly, I heard some movement in the water behind me, and I was attacked by a shark. Shiver me timbers, it's a great white! The shark bit at my ankles as I furiously swam toward the anchor. I grabbed onto the chain and clambered up as the shark snapped furiously below. Soon, I reached the top deck. Yikes, I guess I'll be staying out of the water for the time being. Sometime later, the sun was beginning to set. As I watched the sunset, there was suddenly a huge explosion. Whoa, what was that? I headed off in the direction of the blast. As I moved across the ship, I saw there was a huge hole blown in the top of the deck. As I got closer, I saw it was filled with zombies who attacked. There's zombies on this ship? Things just got interesting. The zombies were determined to eat my brains, but I was actually well trained in hand-to-hand combat, so I managed to fight them off. One of them also had dropped a stone sword, which I made quick use of. As the last zombie disappeared, I noticed it had dropped something. What's this? It looks like a flashlight. I can use this to navigate the inside of the ship. I settled myself down for the night and couldn't help but think, where did all the zombies come from? Did they used to be SEALs too? On day 2, I felt like I had no choice but to start exploring the hole left behind from the explosion. I didn't love the idea of going into a hole that was full of zombies before, but what other choice did I have? It's pretty dark down here. I better use that flashlight. The flashlight let out a little bit of light and I set off into the darkness. As I walked the corridors, I couldn't help but get the feeling something was watching me. What's that? I looked toward one of the doors. I could have sworn I saw something. This place is giving me the creeps. I kept moving through the maze of tunnels when I heard a squeaking up ahead. Okay, I definitely heard something that time. I got a little closer and was attacked by a bunch of rats. These were no ordinary rats though. Their flesh was rotted and their eyes glowed with a red hue. I quickly took them out. I've got a bad feeling about this. I continued down the hallway but could hear another sound up ahead. It sounded like some heavy thuds. Maybe some kind of machinery? I kept going when suddenly the source of the noise came into the light. It was a giant zombie. Uh-oh. The zombie hit me as I ran away. There's no way I could take this guy on. Just ahead, there were some open doors, and I quickly ran inside. As the zombie chased me, he ran into the wall, smacking his head. This is the exact situation where a brain comes in handy. He let out a low groan and stumbled away from me. That's when I noticed he dropped something. I picked it up. Whoa, night vision goggles. These could not have come at a better time. I was getting really tired of being surprised in the dark. After I put them on, the whole ship was lit up. Nothing is gonna sneak up on me now. On day 3, the zombie threat had left, so I decided to do some more exploring. My new night vision goggles had made things much easier. As I ran through the hallways, I tried to open different doors, but everything was locked. This is gonna be a tough 100 days if I can't get into anything. I continued through the maze until finally I found a door that was open. When I entered the room, I saw it was full of storage. Amazing! I hope I can find some good loot in here. I began rummaging through the boxes and saw that there were a ton of building supplies. I kept looking and soon came across a whole stash of food. I can't believe my luck. All this food looks good to eat too. I stuffed my pockets full. Who knows if there was any other food aboard? I managed to find another container full as well. Soon I had gone through all of the boxes except for one big one. I jumped up and was surprised to see what was inside. Hey, who are you?
You're not a zombie.
No, and neither are you. Who are you?
My name is Marcus, but my friends call me Switchblade. Well, they used to call me that, I suppose.
Yeah, what's going on around here?
All I know is there was some kind of zombie infection that spread through the whole ship. I got separated from another group of sailors who were headed for the wrecks. They might still be alive.
We decided we would go look for more survivors, but first, we needed to get to the flight deck and regroup. On days 4 to 5, Switchblade and I had made it back to the top of the ship. Using the materials I had gathered in the supply room, I started putting together a simple base. Nowhere on the base was 100% safe, but at least here, we could be near the edge, and we knew zombies wouldn't be able to attack during the day. Once the tent was set up, I got to work on the inside, filling it with all of the crafting tables we need, along with some beds for us to sleep in for the night. As a final safety measure, I put up a fence across the ship, so that even at night, zombies wouldn't be able to sneak up on us. When it was all done, Switchblade came and took a look.
Nice work, Zozo. This base is top-notch.
With the base complete, I headed over to the crafting table and made a set of stone tools. I couldn't get through any of the doors, but maybe with some tools I could just break through the walls. With my new set of stone tools, I headed over to the ship wall and tried swinging my pickaxe. Not even a dent. I tried a few surfaces, but no luck. At the very least, I now had some tools in case of an emergency. That night, I headed outside with my goggles on to see if the zombies would give us any issues. Looks like they're keeping their distance. This should be a safe place for us to work out of. On days 6 to 8, Switchblade met me inside the tent to discuss our next move.
Well, it's not the most detailed map, but take a look at this.
Switchblade threw the map up on the wall. He was right. It's a good thing he chose the military and not art school.
This should give you an idea of how to get to the bunk area, where I believe the other sailors had headed. There's no guarantee anyone is there, but more sailors is an invaluable asset at this juncture.
I agreed, and so I headed out of the tent and into the hole. Using Switchblade's map as a guide, I made my way down a corridor I didn't notice before. By following that, I came across a staircase that took me even deeper into the ship. And I can't help but have a sinking feeling about this. I reached the bottom and started moving ahead through the darkness. I could hear some shuffling up ahead. There was a small group of cave spiders. Spiders, 12 o'clock! I charged forward with my sword in hand and started hacking away. The spiders managed to land a few hits, but it wasn't anything I couldn't handle. Soon enough, the small group was all destroyed. Time to get to those sailors. I pushed just a little farther ahead and came across the door. I tried to push it open, but it didn't budge. I had no idea if zombies were nearby, so I gave the door a small tap. Psst, hey, is anyone in there? No response. Maybe I was being too quiet. I raised my voice a little more. Can anyone hear me? Do you copy? Is there anyone inside? This time I thought I heard a little bit of movement inside, but nobody was responding. Looks like I've only got one more option. I started banging on the door. Hey, wake up! Your buddy Switchblade sent me. The door flew open.
Man, have you lost your mind? Don't you know there's zombies around?
I was trying to be quiet, but no one was answering.
We thought you were a zombie trying to sniff us out. You wouldn't have been the first, you know.
I get that. I'm sorry. So, who are you guys?
We're from Switchblade's crew. I'm actually the first mate on the ship. I suppose I'm the acting commander of the ship as well.
If you're the acting commander, that means something must have happened to the captain. I'm sorry for your loss.
I am too, although I don't know if I would call it a loss. The captain is technically still alive.
You mean he's a zombie?
Yeah. Before this all happened, we spotted a mysterious island offshore. The captain went to explore and returned with this mysterious artifact. That very night, a zombie outbreak occurred. Ran down here.
That's awful. Well, maybe we can figure out how to stop everything. Do you have any more information about the captain that can help?
Yes, well, he is a zombie. He's not quite as far gone as the rest of them. In fact, I think the secret...
But before he could share that secret, a zombie appeared over his shoulder and killed him. We had forgotten to lock the door. Oh no! Everyone get behind me! A zombie horde came pouring into the room, and I did my best to fight them off with my sword. The native crew members shouted in fear as the zombies kept trying to rip us to pieces. Luckily, I was getting pretty good at fighting these guys, and I was able to take them all out. We better hurry and get out of here, guys. There could be more on the way. We took off running and headed back up towards the base. On days 9 through 10, I emerged from the boat with the 2 sailors. We were all still processing the loss of the first mate, but we had to focus on our own safety. I wonder what the first mate was going to tell us. We soon arrived back at the base, and I got right to work building them a tent of their own. They had mentioned having a background in medicine, so I decided to set them up in their own medical tent. We didn't have too much in medical supplies yet, but seeing the base double in size was giving me hope. We all felt like we could use a little bit of hope, so I offered to make a statue that could serve as inspiration to us all. There was a certain Navy SEAL I had read about that I found particularly inspiring. The interesting thing about him was that he wasn't from the past, he was actually from the future. After a bit, I was running low on supplies, so I stopped for the time being. Any guesses on who you think I'm building? Let me know in the comments. On days 11 to 13, I woke to a strange noise. Is that barking? Something doesn't sound quite right about it. Down in the water, I could see a seal, and it was being chased by the shark from earlier.
Can someone give me a hand down here?
The seal can talk. That's interesting. Let's see if I've got anything that can help. I ran back to my tent and opened up one of the crates. Inside was a collection of rocks. I grabbed a handful and ran back over to the edge of the boat. Hey shark, suck on this. I started chucking rocks down into the water and managed to hit the shark a few times. He kept chasing the seal around, but I could tell it was bothering him. Eventually, it was enough to let the seal get away. Hey, climb on up. The seal swam up to the anchor and ascended the chain. When he reached the top, he plopped down in exhaustion.
Oh, thank you. You really saved my life.
No problem. Gotta look after my fellow seals after all.
Oh, because you're also a seal. I get it.
Why was that shark chasing you anyway?
I have no idea. He's hungry, I guess. But have you seen what's going on under your ship? There's something down there that I think would blow your mind.
What do you mean?
There's this massive rocky column coming out of the earth and into your ship. I've never seen anything like it before. You should go down there and take a look.
I'd love to, but I don't think I can just do that. I'm gonna need some scuba equipment to get down there.
Suit yourself.
I headed over to the other sailors and let them know what I had learned. They were just as confused as I was, but let me know there was an equipment room back down on the ship that should have the scuba gear I'm looking for. They also gave me a stash of iron they had collected. Thanks guys, this will be helpful for sure. I headed over to the crafting table and put together a new set of iron armor. I also took some time to make an iron sword. If I was heading back into the boat, I needed all the help I could get. On days 14 to 15, I took my new gear and headed back down into the ship. I always had a pit in my stomach when I went down here, but there's no way I'd be able to survive out here without searching for answers. After
After a little bit of exploring, I could hear something up ahead. More spiders! Disgusting! I leapt into battle with my new iron sword and started hacking and slashing. With each kill, the spiders shriveled and faded away. As I cut my way through the spiders, I noticed there was a group of zombie rats watching too. Come and get some! The spiders had all been destroyed, but I guess the rats were feeling a little intimidated. They all ran away in fear. Yeah, that's what I thought. I pushed forward through the dark tunnels and eventually reached the dive room. Awesome! Now I can snag some scuba gear. I opened the door and saw the giant mutant zombie from earlier was inside. What the heck? How did you get in here? The zombie wasted no time attacking me. The joke was on him though. This time, I was prepared. How do you like me now? I bobbed and weaved as he tried to hit me with shockwaves and pound me into the ground. I was doing well, but this guy packed a punch. I still only had 5 hearts, so I needed to be careful. My new gear and experience was still too much for him though, and I came out victorious. Not so tough anymore, are you? With the adrenaline still pumping through my veins, I felt an extra surge of energy and was promoted to the rank of Seaman. And check it out, now I have 10 hearts. Feeling stronger than ever, I took a look around the room. Hanging up was a full scuba suit, so I grabbed each piece and placed it in my inventory. Then I saw something laying in the corner of the room. Awesome, a harpoon gun. Now I can protect myself from any underwater threats I come across. I checked the nearby crates and saw they were full of harpoons. I gathered them all up and headed back up to the flight deck. On day 16 to 19, I had arrived back on the flight deck, and I noticed that the seal was still there. Hey, how's it going?
To be honest, not great. That shark is still down there, and I don't think I'm going to be able to get away from him. I was hoping I could stay here for a bit.
Yeah, that should be fine. But you do know this ship is infested with zombies, right?
I'll take zombies over sharks any day.
Okay, but what about water? Don't you need it, at least a little bit?
I do. I was hoping you might have an idea about that.
You know what? I think I do. Hang tight and let me get something set up. I grabbed some building supplies and started working on a tent for the seal to stay in. Once I got the outside set up, I got to work making him a tank to live in. This way he'll have some water he can easily access, even though he's not in the ocean. Once that was finished, I headed over to do some more work on the statue. I managed to get a decent amount done, but still had a long way to go. There was certainly a good shape taking place, but can you tell what it is yet? On days 20 to 22, I headed into my tent to get geared up. I grabbed my scuba gear off the armor rack and put it on. Then I opened up the nearby crate and took out my harpoon gun and harpoons. I know that shark is still out there, so I have to take him down before I can even start looking at that column the seal mentioned. But before I jump in, could you help me out? Over 40,000 of you have joined the Zozo Navy, and we'd love to have even more join up with us for even bigger adventures. So hit the subscribe button and let's do this. I put on my scuba helmet and got ready to jump over the edge of the boat. Here goes nothing. On days 23 to 26, I got a running start and leapt off the side of the boat, landing in the ocean below. Alright, let's find this shark and take him out. With my harpoon gun in hand, I swam out from the boat, scanning the scenery for a glimpse of the aquatic monster. I swam and swam, but nothing. Maybe the shark left after all. I didn't see any sign of him anyway. Just when I was starting to feel safe, the shark snuck up and hit me. Ouch! You're gonna pay for that! I took aim with my harpoon gun and fired. I was able to hit him, but he showed no signs of slowing his attack. Oh man, I'm really starting to feel out of my element down here. The fight was intense. I kept firing my harpoons as the shark kept trying to take chunks out of my arm. Our fight had moved under the boat, and suddenly the shark got a hold of me and started pulling me deeper and deeper. If I'm going down, I'm taking you with me. As the shark pulled me deeper and deeper, I hit him with harpoons. Managed to get several hits in, but suddenly I heard a hissing noise as one of his teeth punctured the oxygen flow to my helmet. I'm too deep to go without oxygen. What am I gonna do? I had an idea. If I could time this right, I could ignite the oxygen coming from my helmet and use it like a grenade. Catch this! I threw my helmet and it exploded on impact, killing the shark. There was no time to celebrate though. I couldn't hold my breath forever. I looked around and saw a cave nearby. Maybe there's an air pocket. I swam as my oxygen levels continued to drop, bursting through the wall of water onto dry ground. Phew, that was way too close. But what am I supposed to do now? On days 27 to 29, I decided my only option was to head deeper into the cave and see what I could find. What I saw next was totally unexpected. Is that an octopus? Sitting at the bottom of the cave was a giant octopus. As I got closer, he started talking to me.
Hello there. Can't help but think you're a little lost.
That's one way of putting it. Do you know a way back up to the surface?
There's only one way, which is back the way you came. But breathing is the problem, right? All you need is the scuba mask I have. It will give you all the oxygen you need.
Great. So, can I have it?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thanks. Are you going to give it to me?
I will. Help me first.
You should have just said that in the first place. What can I do to help?
My wife was kidnapped by a horrible giant squid, and I need someone to rescue her. He's hiding out in a sunken pirate ship. I need you to take him out. But don't ask him any questions. He will try to trick you.
Okay, I can probably manage that, except for one big problem.
Oh, what's that?
I can't breathe underwater.
Oh, yes, that's simple. As you swim toward the ship, you'll see some clams lying along the seafloor. Give them a knock with your fist, and they'll let out oxygen bubbles. You now need to breathe.
Really hope you're right about that. I started making my way out of the cave, but stopped to mine all the various ores. That way I'd have more supplies for later. Once I had collected as much as I could, I left the cave and started swimming in the direction of the pirate ship. As my oxygen levels started to run low, I swam up to a clam and gave it a tap. Sure enough, a stream of bubbles came out. Okay, looks like he was right. They didn't teach me that one in SEAL training. As I was starting to swim away though, I felt something brush along my back. It was a school of piranhas. Get your teethy grins away from me. I was so distracted by the fight, I nearly ran out of oxygen and drowned. Luckily, I was able to hit the clam before it was too late. At long last, I managed to fillet the rest of the fish. That was exhausting and it's getting late. I should try and find a cave to rest in. I swam a little further and soon saw a cave along the seafloor. I swam in and saw it had a nice pocket of air. The cave was also full of resources, so I made sure to grab those before settling in for the night. On days 30 to 35, I left the cave and continued to search for the pirate ship, grabbing oxygen from clams along the way. I soon found myself in a colorful coral reef, and eventually saw the pirate ship lodged in the middle. I swam up to the ship and started to take a look around. As far as I could tell, the ship looked deserted. Might as well check the chests for anything good. I opened the crates and found some gold and gunpowder. One of the crates even had an enchanted infinity book inside. Just then, I saw something moving on the other side of the boat. It was the giant squid!
Get away from my ship.
Oh, someone thinks they're a real tough guy. I swam over to the squid as he hit me with his tentacles, knocking me back. Why'd you kidnap an innocent octopus's wife? The giant squid stopped fighting.
Kidnap? Innocent? Wait a second, I think you have the wrong idea.
The octopus told me you would try to trick me. Nothing you say can change my mind. Just then, the octopus's wife popped up.
Wait, hear us out. My ex-husband was lying to you.
Okay, this was definitely a plot twist. What was going on? First things first though, I had nearly run out of oxygen. I quickly punched a clam as the octopus's wife began to explain.
My ex-husband was so evil. He was mean and killed humans for fun. That's where he got that scuba mask he has. My squid friend here helped me to escape.
Friend? I mean, yeah, we're friends, but Molly, I thought it was more than that.
Not now, Jerry. Look, let's all head back. I think together we can teach Chad a lesson.
His name is Chad? Say no more, let's go. Without delay, we all took off for Chad's cave. We soon arrived after a bit of swimming. I'll go in there and draw him out, then you guys can do your thing. I made my way back inside the cave and talked to Chad. Good news, your wife is just outside and is waiting for you.
Oh, goody. Well done, well done. I sure hope that nasty secret.
As we swam out of the cave, Jerry was waiting for me.
You've messed with her for the last time. Oh, you're still alive? Don't hurt me.
I watched as Jerry smacked the octopus and swam away. The guy was squirting ink all over the place. How embarrassing. As those two swam off, Molly headed inside the cave and grabbed the scuba mask out of the chest.
Here you go, Zozo. I think you've earned this.
She tossed out the mask, which I quickly grabbed and put on. Just in time, too. I was nearly out of oxygen. Thanks, Molly. You guys take it easy down here. On days 36 to 40, I was planning on heading up to the surface, but took a moment to check out the column attached to the ship. This column doesn't look like something the ship ran into. It looks like the column grew and ran into the ship. Something fishy was definitely going on, but I needed to get back up to the ship to talk to the crew. As I climbed aboard, I saw the base was under attack. The sun hasn't set yet. How are zombies attacking now? As I got closer though, I saw these weren't zombies at all. They were some kind of aquatic humanoid monsters. They were much stronger than the zombies too. Look, you guys stink. But more importantly, where did you come from? I was able to keep myself from taking too much damage and noticed that some of them had dropped sapphires. But at long last, the monsters were all defeated. I went and took a closer look at the fence and saw they had broken right through. Looks like we've got some work to do. But before then, I had to get out of the scuba suit. I hung the suit back up and stashed the loot I had found at the base. The next day had rolled around and I decided to upgrade my gear, just in case the monsters tried to attack again. I quickly smelted down all the iron I collected, then used that iron to make an anvil. I placed the anvil down, then used the infinity enchantment I had found to enchant my harpoon gun. Now I'll have unlimited ammo. Next up, I had an idea for what I wanted to make with the sapphires the monsters had dropped. I grabbed a hammer and used it to shape the sapphires into a blade. With my gear upgraded, I headed over to talk to Switchblade about how things had been going, and fill him in on what I had discovered.
It's been rough, to be honest. We had been fighting off wave after wave of monsters. It's a good thing you showed up when you did, because we didn't think we were going to make it.
I'm just glad everyone is okay. So what are you thinking for our next move? Switchblade led me outside.
Well, as you can see, they were able to break right through our wooden fence. Our best bet is to upgrade the wall, and we'll do well to get a proper HQ set up.
Sounds like a plan. Let's gather some supplies and get right to it. On days 41 to 43, we had finished gathering the supplies we needed, so I started by tearing down one of the old planes on the deck. The new fence was going to be a bit bigger, so we'd need a little bit of extra room. The plane was soon cleared, and I got to work building a metal security fence across the deck. In addition to the fence, I also put up a guard tower so we could have some leverage on any attacking monsters. They would have a heck of a time getting through this. After I finished the fence, I got to work on the headquarters. Having a sturdy building to store and plan from was going to be much more reliable than something a horde of zombies could tear through in a matter of minutes. Once the exterior was complete, I went ahead and filled the inside with everything we were going to need. I decided to get to work on the next part of the statue. I only had a little bit of materials on hand, so I just did a little bit of work on the one side. Just as I was finishing up, I heard a loud crash outside. What in the world was that? I ran outside and took a look over the edge of the ship. A submarine had crashed into the side of the boat. Where did this come from? As I was looking down, the sub's hatch opened and a dazed officer stuck their head out. "Hello down there. Can we help you?" She looked around confused.
I think so.
She didn't seem like she was alright, so I quickly jumped off the side of the boat, swam over to the sub, and climbed aboard next to her. Where did you come from?
Sorry, I'm a little frazzled. My name is Alice. I've been tracking this ship for weeks without rest. Funny enough, it wasn't until I fell asleep that I finally found it.
Well, here, let's get on board and we can chat more. We jumped into the water and climbed up the boat. Once we were on the deck, we continued our conversation. So why were you tracking the ship?
Some time ago, I was searching for an ancient artifact, the same one that the captain of the ship came into contact with recently. He beat me to it, but I don't think he understood what it was. I've been desperately trying to find this ship. Not because the artifact is valuable, which it is, but because we need to destroy it, and I'm the only one who knows how to do that.
Yeah, you're telling me. That artifact seems to be the source of all the problems here. We're more than happy to try and destroy it. Just then, the seal flopped over.
Zozo, something about this all seems off to me.
What do you know? You're just a seal. I'm a trained submariner.
Yeah, a trained submariner who just crashed their sub.
Okay, you two, calm down. Look, we know there's something weird going on, and this could be a shot to fix it, or at least end it. What do we know about the artifact?
Well, the captain probably has it near him, up in the control tower, so we should focus on getting to that.
Okay, sounds good. The doors are all locked, but maybe the other sailors know a way around that. I headed over to talk to the sailors. There was good news. There was actually a master key to the entire ship. The bad news, though, was that the key was most likely in the armory, deep in the belly of the boat. Well, I figured I'd have to go back in there at some point. We'll get this done. On days 44 to 49, I headed back down into the ship. As I navigated the curving passageways, I could hear the shuffling of feet ahead of me. Here we go. The zombies came sprinting around the corner, but they were no match for my new sapphire sword. I was able to pretty quickly overpower these guys, but how would it hold up against a group of those monsters? With the zombies out of the way, I headed deeper still into the ship. Soon I found myself in a room full of different internal mechanisms. I could hear something in the room ahead. Sounds like more zombies, but something is different. I poked my head through the doorway and could see one of those monsters leading a group of zombies around. Is he commanding them? I very quickly found the answer to that question because the monster caught sight of me, let out a growl, and all the zombies charged. Don't listen to him, he's the mean one, not me. I tried to get at the monster, but the zombies moved almost like they were protecting me. I had no choice but to fight them off first. Get back, you fleshheads! Soon enough, the zombies were all destroyed, and I was able to engage the monster. He was strong, but he couldn't do much all by himself. Soon enough, he was taken down too. A familiar rush of adrenaline came pouring in, and I could feel myself getting stronger. I suddenly gained 4 more hearts and was promoted to a petty officer. More health and strength. Nice! On days 50 to 53, I kept making my way to the armory. Soon, I could see the door, but outside of it was another one of those monsters. It was walking down the hallway behind a larger group. What are these guys doing? I should follow them and see where they're headed. I should probably give these guys a name too. I'll call them blobs. These blobs certainly seem to have some level of intelligence. They weren't like the zombies who would mindlessly attack anyone nearby. The blobs seemed to be up to something. I followed them through the winding hallways and even had some close calls. I think they may have suspected they were being followed, as I had to duck into a side room to avoid being detected at times. Feels like we've gone down several floors. We've got to be close to the bottom of the ship at this point. Soon enough, I followed them into a room and couldn't believe what I was seeing. There were several blobs roaming around, but more concerning were the cages hanging from the ceiling. There's sailors in some of those cages, but something is turning them into zombies. That something must have had to do with what I saw on the ground. There was a massive hole with pink goo dripping into it. This must be where the column meets the ship. So the column must be hollow. It's a tunnel of some sort. Before I could get any closer though, one of the blobs noticed me and attacked. I managed to fight him off, but could see I had all of their attention now. I don't know what's going on here, but I don't want to end up in one of those cages. I booked it out of there. On days 54 to 57, I was running for my life. The blobs were hot on my tail, but I was starting to put distance between us. I'm not going to be your next experiment. I was a pretty speedy guy and was able to get away. Oh, what was I doing again? Oh yeah, the armory. Soon enough, I found my way back to the armory and headed inside. Oh man, why did they tell me about this place before? The armory was full of all kinds of good stuff. I walked up to the center table and took a look at everything. Glittering in the middle of the table was a brand new shotgun. Oh, now we're packing. The blobs won't want to meet me around a dark corner. The next thing I picked up was the master key. Now I'll be able to get into any part of the ship. I checked out some of the crates and managed to scrounge up some ammo for the shotgun. Then I took a look at the armor hanging up. Is this special ops gear? It is! I pulled it off the rack and put it on. With everything equipped, I saw that my armor was maxed out. Oh yeah, now I'm ready for a fight. After I'd grabbed everything else I could, I headed out back to the flight deck. On days 58 to 62, I arrived back on the flight deck and went to talk to the SEAL about everything I had seen. Hey bud, you'll never guess what I found down there.
Oh no, don't tell me. More monsters?
Even worse, that column you saw is a tunnel of some kind, and they're turning the sailors into zombies. Just then, Alice walked up.
They're probably just summoning an ancient god.
Ancient god? What?
Oh yes, the ancient artifact is like a beacon that calls to the disciples of the god Akuno to begin preparing for his arrival.
You can't be serious.
Oh, I am. By harvesting the souls of men, they give him the power to travel from his prison below, up and into our world. It's incredible.
Incredible? Don't you mean horrible?
Yes, it's horrible. By incredible, I just mean, like, insane.
How do you know all of this anyway?
Oh, I read about it in a book. I'm a very learned explorer.
Right. I was going to have to keep my eye on Alice, but in the meantime, I thought it'd be best to get to work on the statue. If we couldn't stop Akuno from coming to this world, at least there'd be an intimidating statue he'll have to look at. Yeah, I'm not feeling too good about it at all. But at least the next phase of the statue was complete. On days 63 to 66, I decided to dive into the water and try and get more supplies for the statue. I swam deep and saw just what I was looking for. Perfect, I'll just collect these and be on my way. I took out my pickaxe and quickly mined up everything I was going to need. It was hard work mining underwater, but having a mask that let me breathe made everything much easier. Speaking of which, I should check in on Molly and Jerry. Maybe they noticed anything with the tunnel. As I swam near the cave, Jerry came swimming over and Molly came out to greet me. Hey guys, I was just checking in. Have you noticed anything weird about the tunnel over there?
We were hoping you'd come by. We've been noticing some strange vibrations coming out of it. What's going on?
Well, it's bad news, unfortunately. Apparently, there's an ancient god ritual in the works. There's an ancient artifact that we need to destroy to stop it, but I have no idea what I'm going to be up against.
I think I know something that could help, actually. The pirate ship we were living in before had remnants of something that looked very similar to the tunnel here. I think it may have had something to do with why the boat sunk.
Oh, no way!
Yeah, and there were some books buried in the crates. I can't read, but maybe they will contain some helpful information.
That's an awesome tip. I'll go take a look. I took off in the direction of the ship and arrived soon after. Before I head in there, though, have you hit the sub button yet? The more subs we have, the stronger our navy will be. On days 67 to 70, I swam down into the pirate ship and decided to take a look around. I grabbed some gold and gunpowder from the crates before opening a crate that contained the captain's journal. I opened it up and started to read. Day 75. We spotted an island full of
zombies. Lost a lot of men fighting inside, but it was worth it, I think.
This captain's crew had to fight zombies too. They must have been near the artifact. I'll keep reading.
We found this strange, mysterious book.
So the artifact must be a book.
I'm not comfortable holding it, so I gave it to one of my mates.
I couldn't believe what I was reading. But why did their boat sink? Did the blobs attack them too? I read on.
Day 78. There is a submarine behind us. We're under attack, taking on water.
A submarine took them out. I've got a sneaking suspicion I know who was driving it. I better get back to the ship. Alice knows more than she's letting us think. I swam out of the ship, but before I could get anywhere, I was attacked by Chad.
I'll make you pay for tricking me.
Tricking you? It's not my fault you're a jerk. Chad was surprisingly strong, but he didn't know I had gotten stronger too. Jerry should have finished you when he had the chance. I swung my sword and finished him off. He wasn't gonna be bugging anyone now. On day 71 to 74, I returned back to the ship and climbed back up on board. As I climbed aboard, Alice came running up to me.
You're back. I'm so happy to see you're okay. Did you find anything interesting?
I wanted to confront her about everything, but we didn't know what she was trying to do. There was still a chance her intentions were good, even if she took down a ship. No, unfortunately, I didn't find anything. Looks like our best bet is to try and confront the captain.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear it. Best of luck fighting the captain. Just remember, grab the artifact and bring it to me, so I can destroy it.
I headed over to the command tower and unlocked the door with the master key. As I entered the tower, I was immediately attacked by a group of blobs. These guys have been here so close to our base. I had no idea. Using my shotgun, I was able to mow them down pretty quick. They didn't stand a chance against a ranged weapon. I then made my way to the next level and was met by another pack of blobs. It was a tight space, so they managed to get some hits in, but by using the table, I was able to get a little bit of space and finish them off. That was a close one. Now to find the captain. Maybe these guys were just holding him prisoner. On day 75 to 78, I reached the top floor and saw the captain looking out over the base. There was a strange glow about him, but he looked okay. Captain, I'm here to rescue. Oh no. The captain had turned around, and I could see he was mutated like the other sailors. The glow must have been coming from the artifact.
Akuno will return. Akuno is master. Akuno will rule this world.
Captain, you've got to break free. We can stop him. The captain was too far gone. He wasn't hearing a word I was saying.
Akuno requires your soul.
Just then, the captain pulled his gun and started firing. No, I don't want to fight you. I didn't have a choice. If I didn't fight, he would kill me and use me to attack all my friends. The captain was a good shot, but I was a trained SEAL. Sorry, but this is gonna hurt. I noticed that the captain had started throwing some kind of energy ball at me. It must be a power he got from Akuno. We can't allow this kind of dark magic in our world. Hang on to your hat. I'm sending you to the underworld. I took aim and blasted my shotgun one final time, sending the captain to oblivion. After he disappeared, I saw a book laying on the ground. It had to be the artifact, the Necronomicon. Now that just sounds evil. I'm not opening this thing. I can't risk getting sucked into all this madness. Let's see if Alice can actually destroy this thing, or if she's up to something else entirely. On day 79 to 84, I made my way down the tower and headed into the HQ building to meet with Alice. She could barely contain her excitement when she saw me walking up.
Zozo, you must have it. I can feel its energy. Quickly, give it to me.
Hang on a second. I can't give this to you until you explain to me exactly how you plan to destroy it.
Don't worry about that. Just give me the book.
Suddenly, a glow appeared around Alice. She was possessed by the book too. Alice leapt forward and tried to grab the book from me. Alice, get a hold of yourself. This book will destroy the world.
Akuno promised me power to protect his book. I won't let you stop me.
Looks like she was pretty determined, but the seal and I were ready. Pull it! The seal flipped a switch on the wall, which dropped a cage on Alice, trapping her inside. Now listen, you're gonna have to stay here until we can figure out how to destroy this thing.
You'll never destroy it. The only thing that can destroy it is Akuno himself. You'll never win.
Akuno himself? I ran outside to chat with the seal. Well, it's not looking good. I think the only option is to enter the tunnel and find this Akuno. I'll have to try and trick him into destroying the book somehow. It looks like it's our only option. The seal agreed. On days 85 to 89, I started tearing down the security fence so I could replace it with an even better one. If I failed in my mission, it meant Akuno was headed for this world, and my friends were going to need a fighting chance. After a bit, the new fence was finished. I also needed to finish the statue, so I dove off the ship to go and mine out the remaining supplies I would need. I swam to the bottom and found a deposit of materials I could use. I mined them out, then brought them back to the ship. Then I headed into my camp to grab some supplies to upgrade my weapons. First, I crafted a workbench and set that down. Then, by using the workbench, I crafted some additional shells for my shotgun. To finish up, I then crafted a stock for it as well. Well, I'm about as powered up as I can be. Now I just need to finish that statue, and we'll be on our way. On days 90 to 94, I got started on the last section of the statue. By now, I'm sure you can tell who it is. So, what do you think? Did you guess it correctly? He's a big hero of mine, and hopefully he can inspire the next batch of recruits. With the statue complete, I headed down to have a quick chat with the seal. Hey buddy, I just wanted to say thanks for all your help. And here's something to show my appreciation. You're an honorary Navy SEAL too. On days 95 to 97, I headed out of the base, through the security tower, and made my way toward the hole. This could be the last time I ever see the light of day. I descended into the boat and started making my way through the ship corridors, and was immediately attacked by zombies and blobs. Whoa, these guys were ready for me. Akuno must know I'm coming for him. By using the shotgun, I blasted my way through the first level of the boat. I was having some close calls, but managed to get through relatively unharmed. These poor sailors, I don't want to hurt them, but they give me no choice. I continued down to the next level and started facing off against some more blobs. Be gone, fish face! These monsters were something I could never get used to. I had to banish them from this world. Soon I had made it to the lowest level of the ship and was getting close to the tunnel room. As I approached, I saw another blob. He was bigger than the others and had a strong glow around him. He must be their leader. By using my sapphire sword, I managed to get some hits in, but he was hitting back too. Oof. Yeah, this guy is way more powerful than the other ones. He was using a trident that was stronger than anything I had faced yet. It might be time to try something new. I pulled out my shotgun and worked on creating some distance between us, but it was difficult in tight space. Get a load of this. I kept firing away, and finally all of the zombies were gone. I kept on him until at long last, he was defeated. As he disappeared, I got that familiar surge of adrenaline and grew in size. Check it out, now I have 20 hearts. Feeling better than ever, I entered the room and was immediately swarmed. I started fighting off all of the enemies, but there was a lot of them. I had no choice but to hurry and jump into the hole. Here goes nothing. I jumped into the hole, falling for what felt like forever. But eventually I hit the ground with a thud and blacked out. On day 98, I woke up laying at the bottom of the hole. Oh, that didn't feel so good. Where am I? I took in my surroundings and saw I had fallen into some kind of deep cavern. Just ahead, there is a portal. That must take me to Akuno. I don't like the look of that, but I know that with support from you and my friends, we can do anything. I took a deep breath and ran headfirst into the portal. On day 99, I appeared in what looked to be an entirely different dimension. Whoa, this place is insane. It's almost like I'm underwater, but I'm not. Up ahead of me, I could see a huge otherworldly temple. That had to be where Akuno lived. With my gun in hand, I ran forward into the temple. As I ran into the building, I could see Akuno waiting for me. Akuno, you thought you could come to my world and destroy everyone, but instead it's me coming to yours to destroy you. Akuno didn't seem surprised at all.
Catch me off guard. Please, you've been a pawn in my plan this entire time, just like all the other foolish humans.
What did he mean, a pawn?
That book can allow me to influence anyone who reads it, but I can't travel to your dimension without it. And now you've brought it straight to me, just in time, too. I understand my minions have nearly completed preparing an army for me.
Why are you doing this? What good does destroying another world do for you?
Command this world, but for what? Not a soul roams here, and I'm kept bound by the limitations of this flesh. A human soul gives me freedom I can't get elsewhere, so I will take the souls of Earth, starting with you.
If you want this book, you're gonna have to pry it off of me.
That's just what I intend on doing.
I immediately opened fire with my shotgun. It didn't seem to be doing anything.
Pathetic. Your human weapons are no match for my magic. You'll never break my enchantments.
I fired a few more shots, but he was right. This wasn't doing anything. Just then, I noticed there were 2 purple orbs hanging from the ceiling. They had an almost lifelike quality about them. Let's see what you think about this. I opened fire on one of the orbs, breaking it open and causing it to explode.
No!
He didn't like that and started attacking me. Clearly this was doing something. Ho-ho, not so clever after all, are we? I fired on the other orb, which caused it to explode as well.
You will pay for this.
I fired off a few shots at him again. This time I could tell it was hurting.
Well, let's see how you handle this.
There was a flash of lightning and 2 blobs appeared at the end of them, attacking me. Jeez, you can summon these guys at will? There's no way we can let them into our world. The blobs converged on me and I quickly finished them off with my shotgun. As soon as I had defeated them, Akuno summoned 2 more. Dude, knock it off. This is just getting annoying. Akuno launched his purple fireballs at me as I continued to pick off more blobs and land shots on him. As I hit him more, I could tell he was getting desperate.
Foolish mortal, you have only seen a fraction of my power.
Suddenly, a ring of fire appeared around me, and I was hit by lightning. He wasn't joking. Things were starting to get serious. Yeah, okay, that one is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I kept on him while trying to dodge his lightning attacks. But let me tell you, dodging lightning is as hard as you think it would be.
Looks like it's the end for you, Zozo.
This couldn't be it. But then I remembered the secret to defeating him was destroying the book. I knew what I needed to do. Just then, a ring of fire appeared around me, and I jumped back, throwing the book out. The lightning struck the book, destroying it.
No!
Akuno erupted in an explosion and was destroyed. I did it! I heard some rolling thunder, and suddenly a bolt of lightning came out of the sky, teleporting me away. What now? On day 100, I appeared at the top of the hole, back on the ship. Inside of the cage in front of me, I saw one of the zombies start to change. But this time, he changed back into a sailor.
Oh, hello? What's going on?
Hang on, I'll help you. I jumped up to the cage and busted the sailor out. There were several other cages around the room, so I hurried and broke out all of the other trapped sailors as well. As I did so, I explained everything to them. They were all pretty confused, but I led them up to the flight deck so they could get some rest. With the sailors all safe in their bunks, I met back up with the seal and switchblade.
You did it, Zozo. On behalf of the crew, I can't thank you enough.
Alice is feeling better too.
Just then, Alice walked up. The seal was right. She was looking normal.
Oh, Zozo, I feel so awful for everything I've done. But I'm so glad you were here to save the day. Our seal friend here and I are going to go adventuring together. This time I'm not going to be reading any scary books.
I'm just glad everything is back to normal, and thanks for everyone's help. I can't wait to see where our adventures take us next.